Hello, my friends. This month I read 11 books with an average rating of 3.9. I had such a good reading month, and I am so excited to tell you guys about all of the books I read. I had no 1 or 2 stars this month, thank God. So let's start with the 3 stars. Unpopular opinion. I gave Wild Dark Shore 3 stars. Everyone loves this book. It's a beautiful cover. Maybe you guys are gaslighting yourself so you can keep it on your shelf, but I did not think this book was very good at all. So, this book is about this father and 3 children who live on this very secluded island. It's like essentially uninhabitable. On this island is a seed vault, so scientists have been storing seeds there. So, in the case of worst case scenario, climate disaster, we have seeds saved so that humanity can restart. It's also used in research purposes for maintaining species that would go extinct otherwise. So on this island is this father and his 3 children, as well as some researchers who work doing seed vault things. This mysterious woman washes up on shore. Well, it's just the family. All the scientists have left. And it's kind of a thriller mystery about who this woman is, why she's here. There's absolutely no reason she would wash up on shore because this is such a secluded island. She would have to be trying to come here to end up even near the island. It's also a romance. The father and the woman are like immediately attracted to each other. The romance was fine, except one thing that I did not love at all is that the woman who washed up, she's obviously beat the hell up from washing onto shore. She has a giant gash, like, I want to say on her side and hip, and he's like helping bandage this thing so she's borderline naked. And she's like, well, don't sneak a look. And then his inner monologue is like, we both know I did. You're providing medical care. I understand you're not a nurse. You're providing medical care. That's gross. I also thought the dad was incredibly selfish for bringing his kids out to this secluded island and making it so that they couldn't have a proper childhood. And it also romanticized parentification of these kids. A big theme in this story is grief. The children's mother died, this man's wife, and he just like cannot get over his grief to parent his children. And the children notice this. They parent themselves, and he's just kind of like, it's so great. I wish their mother could see the amazing people they've turned into. They're still children. They are still children, and you should be the one taking care of them. And through his inner monologue, he's like racked with guilt for being a bad father. But like, stay on the mainland and go to therapy, my guy. Put your children in therapy. It wasn't terrible by any means. I thought it was a fun story. I thought it was well written. I liked learning about the seed vaults and like trees in Australia. The characters are Australian, even though this does not take place in Australia. I thought that part was fun. I just could not get over the parentification and him like low-key creeping on her, but like she was into it, so it was fine. What if she wasn't? My next 3 star I picked up in my journey to try to find 3 5-star sci-fis this year, which is not going very well. And that is the 3 Body Project. So 3 stars. I'm not even going to try to describe this book because there is so much going on with it. And that was my problem. This is like a classic sci-fi. People love this book. It was not for me. I did not like the style it was written in. I didn't like how there was so much going on at once and it all came together in the end in a way that I just did not find very satisfying. So off to try different sci-fi, I suppose. The last 3 star I picked up this month was The Mean Ones. This is an arc I got from NetGalley. It is a dual timeline following this girl who watched her friends get brutally murdered while at summer camp. We follow her as a childhood at the summer camp and the events leading up to her friends getting murdered, and then her modern day. She's in her 30s. She's dating a really shitty man. Her PTSD manifests as trees and inanimate objects screaming at her through the voices of her friends she watched get murdered, being like, save us, why didn't you save us? And dead animals like roadkill reanimating and walking towards her and also yelling at her in the voice of her dead friends. She currently lives in a city, so she doesn't have to deal with that. She's also not currently in therapy or on any medication to help with these hallucinations. Despite doing both of those things in the past, she said that she's not on medication anymore because it only helped a little bit. I'll get back to my thoughts on that. Her current boyfriend is a piece of shit who doesn't know anything about her childhood. She just like pretends to be someone else. And he's like, let's do a weekend in the woods. And she's too scared of his reaction if she were to refuse. So she goes, even though that's like literally the worst place for her mental health. And the book is kind of like, is this PTSD or is it something more sinister? It's silly. It's You just got to turn off your brain and read this one. I expected it to be more of an exploration of mental health. It is not at all. It's just silly goofy. I have a couple problems with this book. My main one being that it is published by Creature Publishing, and their whole thing is feminist horror. One of the childhood friends in this book that got murdered is portrayed to be promiscuous. She steals like the main character's crush and like kisses him at summer camp. And it's kind of implied she acts this way because her father abandoned her and her family to start another life. I feel like that, maybe feeds into some stereotypes that already exist that are harmful. I didn't like that at all. This was through the perspective of our main character while she was a child. I think they're like 12. But because it's dual POV, it could have been her reflecting in her adulthood. I think you could have those things in there and still be feminist horror as long as you acknowledge those things and acknowledge that it's a harmful stereotype. The voice of the author and the main character felt very YA, and this is this author's first adult novel, but it just kind of felt like she wrote it as a YA novel. The publisher was like, this would be better adult, so she threw in like 2 sex scenes and was like, no, it's adult. Like, it just reads very moral of the story is, and a lot of the chapters ended with like a punch, and each chapter changed perspectives. So it kind of did that like YA cliffhanger thing at the end of every chapter. I also don't think how the main character acted was realistic. And I know that everyone reacts to trauma in different ways, but if you are having these terrible hallucinations and the medication only stopped a little bit, wouldn't you stay on the medication? Isn't a little bit better than nothing? I understand she stopped going to therapy because she felt dismissed by her therapists, but I think it could have been a cool thing to explore a little bit more rather than one sentence explaining why she's not in therapy or taking medication, which is like the obvious course of action for what she's experiencing. So it just felt like one sentence to like cover up a plot hole, which like didn't really make sense to me. I know I'm sounding very negative. Overall, this book was fun. It was a fun read once I shut my brain off and just went with it, kind of suspended my disbelief. I had fun with it. It's quick. It is a quick read. I did enjoy the younger POV better than her in adulthood, and it is a little bit of a good for her story. I think the ending was dumb and also not feminist, but I'm not going to go into it because I don't think it's fair for me to spoil a book that hasn't come out yet. Next, we have my 4 stars, which I have 6 of. Crazy. I'll start off with Rant, an oral biography of Buster Casey. This is a Chuck Palahniuk novel, and you can tell he has such a clear authorial voice. You can pick up a book blind, and if you've read 1 or 2 Chuck Palahniuks, you'll know this is his book. He is one of my favorite authors, and this book was good. It's not my favorite by him by any means, but I just love his writing style. It is about Buster Casey, who is a boy who lives in the rural South who is so incredibly obsessed with sticking his hand down like animal burrows and bug nests and anything like that, anything that can get him bit by insects and spiders and animals. So this man just perpetually has rabies. He gives it to everyone because he's a little bit of a slut, and he makes out with everyone, and then they all get rabies. I don't know if you can get rabies by kissing someone. I don't know if it's transmittable that way, but it is in this book. Eventually, he leaves this small town and goes to the big city and gets involved with Party Crashers, which is this game where you get into minor accidents with each other and you cause a scene yelling at each other, and there's like a point system. It's seemingly just a thing that people do to pass the time and get like a little bit of an adrenaline rush. There are teams, you decorate your cars, it's illegal. He gives rabies to everyone. He causes this like grand rabies pandemic. And then there's like a weird sci-fi type twist. This book is told in the style of an oral history, so it's all interviews with Buster Casey's like friends and acquaintances and his father and mother and neighbors. And it's a fun story. It's silly. It has the least social commentary out of any Chuck Palahniuk novel I think I have ever read. It's just a fun time. Next, I have a book I can actually hold up for you guys, a little bit different for me, and that book is Water Moon. I did the audiobook of this and then I purchased it because I really liked it. I want to reread it. I thought it was so fun and beautiful. And it is a gorgeous book. Hold on, I need to show you. So, this is the cover. You take the dust jacket off, and this book is just stunning and gorgeous. Inside are instructions on how to turn the dust cover into a little paper boat, and the inside of the dust cover is this just gorgeous illustration and the two main characters. Whoever designed this deserves a raise. So I have seen some not great reviews for this book, and I understand where they're coming from. The synopsis for this book is very misleading. It says it is about this girl who works at a magical pawn shop and people can go in and pawn their regrets. It's like hidden in a ramen shop and only shows itself to people who have regrets to pawn. That is not what this book is about. That's the beginning setting for this book. It kind of establishes the type of world that this book is taking place in, but that is not what this book is about. This book is about this girl who works at this pawn shop who, the day she inherits the shop from her father goes missing and the pawn shop is trashed. A man comes in, the pawn shop chose him to pawn his regrets, and he's kind of roped into, and by roped into, I mean he refuses to not let our main character go alone. But in this adventure, as she goes and tries to find her father, this book is so imagery heavy. That is what this book is about. It is about the adventure, but mostly the imagery surrounding the adventure. They do such fun ways of travel, so like jumping through a puddle and they end up in another world. I need to stop waving this around. It's so creative the way that they are able to come up with ways to travel. My favorite is they have to get to this place that's like very isolated, it's hard to get to. So the fastest way to travel is by rumor. So they start a rumor, and anywhere that rumor goes, they're able to go. So as it's passed along to people as it grows, they are able to go to those places. It's just so fun and creative. It's very Studio Ghibli inspired with the imagery. The author like says that. It's very clear and you can see it. I love this book. I might bump it up to 5 stars, but I don't know. We'll see. I want to sit with it a little bit more and I want to reread it. That's why I bought it. My nonfiction for the month, I also gave 4 stars, and that is Big Mall. This is a book about the creation of malls, the death of the suburban mall culture, so like mall rats, and didn't talk about mall emos or mall goths, which I have a problem with, but that's fine. And it also talks about like mega malls, like Mall of America, and the biggest mall in North America is in Canada, and it is this author's like hometown mall. I cannot remember the name of it. But these malls are crazy. These malls have like wave pools and water parks in them and dolphins and whole amusement parks. And it's kind of about like the evolution that created those malls. It's about consumerism. It's about how malls make you feel awful, but also fantastic. And my favorite part of this book is at the very end, it mentioned Providence Place Mall, which is my childhood mall. But she talks about Providence Place Mall and the artist collective that lived in the walls of this mall for years. And they have a documentary. I haven't seen it yet. It's not online. It's like in specific movie theaters right now, and Providence Place Mall has a movie theater, and I really, really hope that they play it there. I doubt they will. They banned these people from the mall. 4 stars because it didn't blow me away. There were a few spots that I felt like we spent too much time on and kind of lost interest a little bit, but overall, really enjoyable. I love a nonfiction about a niche topic. That is my favorite. The next 4 star I read was Shy Girl. Gorgeous cover. That's what got me into this book. It is a weird girl horror if I've ever read one. It is about this girl who decides to become a sugar baby because she has no other options left. And she ends up in this really weird situation, really terrible situation. It was so strange. It was so strange and uncomfortable. It was an incredibly uncomfortable book. I would definitely look up trigger warnings. It is 100% a horror. I recommend not reading reviews because I think the top review spoils the book. The ending is strange, and I did not see it coming. Thank God I didn't read the reviews because the top review ruins it, and I'm mad at you. That's a spoiler. It's vague, but it's a spoiler. My next 4 star is another arc, and that is The Compound. Another gorgeous cover. These artists, a raise. These people who put this stuff together, a raise. I saw it at the bottom of like a recommended for you thing. You know what I'm talking about? After you like review a book, it'll pop up at the bottom. I saw that there. I clicked on it. I went, oh my god, this sounds so fun. And then I saw it was an arc. So I went over to NetGalley. I requested it. Did not expect to get it. I got it. Everyone get on NetGalley. It is about this girl who is on a reality television show. It's kind of like Big Brother Survivor-ish, where they're all living in this house. It's also like a little bit of Love Island where they're all really hot, but them being hot is like the only Love Island type thing. I feel like original Big Brother, everyone was hot, but I don't know. I've never actually watched that show. My mom never let me. She said it was too adult. So the show is a bunch of hot boys and girls, and they have these tasks to complete. Sometimes these tasks end with someone getting voted out of the compound, and every time they complete a task, they get a prize. At the beginning of the show, they are winning things like food and water, things needed for survival. And as the show goes on, the things they receive are luxuries like a hot tub. They also get personal tasks, so they get items that are for them, things they don't have to share. And as it starts out, it's these little things like a cheap $2 plastic comb. But as it goes on and more people are gone, these items become more luxurious. So, like a pair of diamond earrings. The pull of this show is that you get to take all of these things you get, as many as you can carry when you leave. And you're also, if you make it towards the end, you're an influencer. You never have to work again. Also, if you're the last person, you are allowed to stay on the compound as long as you would like. These are the things that really draw our main character to it. She works at a makeup counter. She's not super happy with her job. She feels like every single day she goes to work and then she gets home and she's too tired to do anything, so she's not able to live her life. So she goes on the show so that she can get nice things and so that she can just like escape her life for a little bit. She wants to be the last one. She wants to stay on this compound. She's like, I want to be the one who stays here the longest after the show ends. I want to break that record. One thing I really liked about this book is that our main character is hot, a little bit dumb, and she does not change throughout this book. The entire time she's like, yes, I want little luxuries and I want a different life and I want to take a break from my real life for a little bit. And other contestants are talking to her and like, don't you see that this is manipulative? Don't you see that this is bad? Maybe don't you want to go back to your real life? None of this is real. And she's like, it's happening to me. It's real. I'm doing these things and it is real. And no, I don't want to go back to my regular life. That is the whole point of this. And I really appreciated that. She didn't change her mind. She didn't become some like great philosophical person going in and critiquing capitalism. She knew what she wanted and she was able to work towards it and nothing changed her mind, and I appreciated that. It was able to get the points across of capitalism is bad. We all are suffering under capitalism without our main character understanding those points. You know, it was told to us through actions. Crazy concept for books recently. I think some people might be disappointed with this book because you read the description and you think it is like a fight to the death almost, and that is not the case. It is a reality TV show. People get hurt, people get seriously injured, but they're not killing each other. They're not dying out in the desert, you know. It's a reality TV show. The producers would not let that happen. But fucked up shit does happen, and it goes farther than reality TV shows would do in our reality. It is a little bit dystopian in that way with how far these producers are willing to push it. My next 4-star is a little bit different and also a book that I own. That is Animal Farm. I was going to do a video reading books that are required reading for high school students that I never read. This was never assigned to me. The Great Gatsby was never assigned to me. To Kill a Mockingbird was never assigned to me. 1984, never read it, never assigned to me. I read Of Mice and Men. I read Fahrenheit 451. I read The Pearl. And I read some Shakespeare plays. I did not. Oh, and I read Lord of the Flies in like middle school. I did not get a lot of required reading books in high school. I don't know what is up with that. But yeah, this was my first time reading it. I get why it's a classic. It's fun, it's interesting. But yeah, I get why this is required reading. I thought it was good. I think it would be a good book club book if it was a bunch of people who never read it before, because most people get that conversation after the book in high school. I don't think I would have appreciated it in high school as much as I do now because I was not as critical of the systems as I am now. But overall, I really enjoyed it. Okay, now on to my 5 stars. First, I have 5 stars. This was a reread for me. I read this for my vlog on reading weird books about beauty. It holds up. It is so good. 5 stars the first time I read it, 5 stars the second time. This book is about a girl who used to be a piano prodigy but had to stop playing because her parents almost died in a car accident and she had to start paying for their intensive care. A woman recognizes her while she's working her minimum wage dishwasher job and is essentially like, "You're too talented and pretty to be doing labor like this. You should come work retail at this beauty company." And so she does that. She goes, it's a very strange beauty company. It's very exclusive. It's very expensive. And she starts working there. She starts taking the multivitamins that they give her and the products, and they start changing how she looks drastically. It's a book about the whitewashing in the beauty industry and consent and predation on vulnerable people. It is so good. It is so good. It is so interesting. It is saying so much, and I cannot recommend this book more. My next and final 5-star is Immaculate Conception by the same author. This book just came out at the beginning of April. Oh my god, I love this author. She is incredible. These are the only 2 books she has out right now, and I will continue to pick up every single book she publishes. Immaculate Conception is very different from Natural Beauty. It is not about whitewashing. It is not about the beauty industry. It doesn't really cover the same topics, and it is far more sci-fi. This book is about this girl who is in art school and develops this really intense friendship with one of the other artists there. While they're in art school, AI becomes a thing, and so these people are creating AI artworks, copywriting them, and then suing artists who create works that are similar to that. And it kind of creates this thing where you can no longer create original art because AI can create anything. So art becomes very experimental and performative so that these computer generative images can't copy that. It's kind of hard to summarize because so much happens and it's about so many different things and their interconnections, and it's just so good. So those are all of the books I've read this month. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any book recommendations, if you've read anything recently you think I would like, please let me know. I am always looking for recommendations. And if you guys pick up any of these books because of me, please let me know that as well. I would love to chat with y'all about what you think. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all next week.